I listened very carefully to what Mr. Gerald Giam had to say, and my understanding is if the Workers' Party becomes the government of the day, then we, the Workers' Party, according to Mr. Gerald Giam, will partner unions. Yet, Mr. Giam says you do not want NTUC to be tethered to the government or the PAP. Okay? I don't think you can have your cake and eat it. Right? We don't use the words tether. We use the words partnership, alliance, solidarity, and equal partnership. We don't use the words tether. Point number one. Point number two about Mr. Gerald Giam's insinuations is that there's a suggestion that NTUC is subordinate to the PAP's interests when it comes to labour movement, negotiations, and trajectories. This is completely inaccurate. And let me share with you my personal experience. In the middle of COVID-19, we had multiple difficulties with the occupancy rate in hotels, right? So I was, had the privilege of being an advisor to FDAWU, the Food, Drink and Allied Workers Union, and they were down 1/4 occupancy rate, half occupancy rate. We met with them multiple times. And never in the meetings was there a subordinate and elder relationship. It was about how we get our workers in their jobs through the pandemic, secure, and get Singapore's economy afloat. We worked hand in hand in solidarity. Point number two. So on 2 points, I disagree with the Honourable Member, Mr. Gerald Giam, from personal experience. Number three, where was the partnership between PAP and the NTUC formed? It was in the crucible of fire. We were fighting the communists. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew represented the Postal Workers Union. And why shouldn't we rely on such trust, solidarity, mutual respect, equality, mutual relationship in advancing Singapore's cause? Why unravel that? It makes no sense except if you dissect Mr. Giam's position as being completely political.
When I say tether or untether, what I mean is that the NTUC and the PAP should be separate independent organizations and should not be pledging symbiosis with each other. That's all I mean. And about this, what he says is not a subordinate relationship. Can I ask the member, why is there then a need for, in the case of this platform workers bill, why is there a need for the platform work associations to have a council of advisors which has the power to dismiss the executive council? And why are these council of advisors appointed by the NTUC, and why do they all happen to be PAP members or PAP MPs even?
Tripartism is a bedrock of Singapore's economy. The employers, the government, the employees. Do you seek to unravel that? I've been an MP for a number of years. When I go overseas, people ask, why are your unions not fighting against your government? It is, it's a misnomer overseas. But here, it's something special. So my answer to the Honourable Member, Mr. Giam, is that please do not seek to unravel a secret formula, a good formula that we have in Singapore, which is tripartism, between the government, the employers, and the employees. And the only conclusion I can draw in my limited human mind is that Mr. Giam is making a political point, whereas in my humble priority, it is Singapore that remains the priority.
I must speak out in support of Workers' Party, what members Gerald Giam and the LO and the other members have said. I don't think the opposition is not in support of tripartism. In fact, no political parties who aspire to run the country one day would not want the support of the trade union. Tripartism is a given. Everybody would want to cultivate that tripartism. And we understand, all of us know history, that trade unions in other countries, and by nature of their organization, they must have the political power to institute change in the country. So as a result, trade unions would want to be affiliated with political parties. And of course, the opposition, whether it's Workers' Party, of course I can't speak for Workers' Party too much, PSP, for example, we all welcome, we want to cultivate the most harmonious and the best working relationship with trade unions. However, I think the issue here that we are trying to push or trying to clarify or trying to stress is that the nature of the relationship between the NTUC and our government is more than what we have seen in the world today. Okay. It's more than the world today. For example, what I'm trying to say is, can you find another trade union in the world where the trade union chief is a minister? Are there any countries? Please, if there are, tell me. Okay. So as a result, you can't deny our impression. No opposition, few opposition politicians are allowed are being given appointments in NTUC and all that. So we do not really understand the exact decision-making process there. But from the structure that you can see from the outside, if the NTUC Secretary General is a minister or a former minister, and there are many leaders in the NTUC that comes from the ruling party, I think we are entitled to think that the independence of NTUC ought to be better than this.